6 News. Coverage you can count on. In high definition. Starts now.
Good evening. New child pornography-related federal charges have been filed against a former elected official in Centre County.
Christopher Lee arrested last year after he was accused of possessing thousands of images of child porn. Well, now the feds say Lee was trying to get some kids to participate in sexually explicit videos. Gary Sinderson has been following this story and has more on the new information tonight. Gary?
Marty, of course, yes, we are talking about Christopher Lee, the former director of the Bowl Mansion and Clubbage Chapel in Boalsburg. When we took a look at these new federal indictments that were just handed down this week, one of the interesting factors was a timeline on one of the cases. According to the feds, Lee was trying to entice a kid or kids into making sexually explicit videos back in 2005 and 2006. As it turns out, Lee was also involved in a county case at the same time. Then he was charged with molesting 2 young boys. But Lee was never jailed. Instead, he was placed on probation. The latest federal indictment against Christopher Lee of Boalsburg was issued this week. There's accusations of trying to lure kids or teenagers into making sexually explicit videos. One of the cases, according to the feds, dates back 10 years. In 2005, Lee was in Centre County Court after 2 boys staying at his Bowl Mansion say Lee put his hands down their pants. The new federal indictment doesn't indicate if they're talking about the same young victims or others. Then Lee ended up in a first-time offenders probation program. Last year, after a judge initially refused, we were able to get the files open through a court order. They showed that Lee barely made his court-ordered counseling requirements, and even after being placed on probation, at least one parent complained to police about how Lee was acting around her young boy. Lee remains jailed, awaiting a trial next month. And that trial date may be delayed with these new federal charges just being filed. Now, last year with Lee's arrest, that led to one state lawmaker talking about introducing new legislation that would change that ARD first offenders program. Specifically, he does not want ARD to be offered any longer to those charged with sex crimes. Live in Centre County, Gary Sinderson, 6 News.